Hello everyone and welcome. Today we are going to be outside working on this patio, clearing some pots. Going to be cleaning up some of my raised beds on the side of the house and putting down some mulch. And sometime today we're supposed to be getting a big load of compost. So stay tuned and hang out with me. So I really just want to tidy up some of these pots. There's some spent flowers in them. Some of them need to be thinned out a little bit. And our patio is in a dire need of a replacement, but we're just working with it because concrete is really expensive. But I just have little containers sitting around. We have our fire pit. I have a few little weeds down by the fire pit. But I also have some big pots up here, and I put these up here because I was growing a few additional tomatoes that I had, and the deer have discovered in the night that they just come right up on my patio now. So I'm gonna have to try and put something on here that the deer won't bother and keep all my tomatoes in my fenced area. But over here I have a pot with some iris, and this was an extra eucalyptus tree that didn't fit in the row that I had down in the field. This down here is some lemon verbena. And this is another lily one. I already got started on this one this morning, but as you can see, the slugs have been doing their little feasting on the leaves. So after I'm done kind of cleaning up all the pots, I'm going to go around and sprinkle a little bit of sluggo. So I guess let's get started. I love the smell of this. I kind of have started an apothecary because I love using natural herbs and things, weeds and other things for medicinal purposes instead of going and buying stuff from the store when I can. I know the place from the store has a purpose sometimes, but this, just you rub it and it smells like lemon. It's delicious. You put it in teas, and I actually dry a lot of it to have on hand. Sometimes I try to get this done in the fall, but there's just never-ending projects, and I just can't get to them all, so I don't beat myself up over it. I'll just tackle it in the spring. Okay, so next, I'll probably tidy up this one just a little bit. There isn't a whole lot in here. Not even sure what this was, but it's dead now. Okay, this is my other beautiful bearded iris, and they have been in this pot for years, and I really need to separate them, replant them, but just not sure where I want to put them yet. And because we have a lot of gophers and moles and things like that, the gophers are the worst. They chew on them, so I could try to keep them protected, but definitely need to be thinned out. The great thing about waiting until spring is that most of these just pull right off because they've completely separated. Makes it easier to clean it up. Okay, so that's what the current state is looking like. They're kind of getting crowded in there, and I'm sure I would have a lot more and a lot more pretty blooms if I could get these separated. And I actually still have the picture in here. It was upside down, so it got saved from the sun. So this is the variety that's in here, and it is truly as stunning as the picture when they bloom. While I was cleaning up this pot, I was looking around and I realized all right here, these ones, And this one. This is called Jupiter's beard. And right over here in my flower bed, this plant right back here, and yes, I have a ton of weeds everywhere, that is the mother plant. Now this is a plant, I will put a picture up on the screen for you. It's gorgeous. It's kind of an early bloomer, so end of May, but it is a prolific, and I mean prolific cedar. As you can tell, you blink and you have it everywhere, and it's not really easy to get rid of. This pot has a ton of it in it as well, and it's all from the wind just blowing the seeds in there and them germinating. And I don't want to get rid of my plant because it was my grandmother's and it just reminds me of her, but I just have to do a better job of deadheading during the season so that I don't end up with a bazillion plants everywhere. Okay, I mostly have this pot tidied up now, but what I was growing in here along with the tomato, this right here was a calendula. And if you don't know what that is, I will put a picture of that up on the screen as well. But I was noticing as I was weeding, even though I tried really hard to stay on top of these this year and deadhead, these are what the seeds of a calendula look like. They're kind of hairy looking, like spiny. You can see that very well. And just very odd looking. But I use these for medicinal purposes as well. So a few volunteers is okay, but they're pretty good at reseeding themselves as well. So I got these two beds cleared out. These are the ones that had the Jupiter's beard in it. And I just want to show you, I'm going to lay this back down. Look how long, just in comparison to my hand, look how long the taproot of those is. And this is a pretty small seedling still, so that's why I say they're really hard to get rid of once they start seeding themselves all over the yard, because once the soil gets any kind of a dryness to it, they are in there like rocks. All right, so this is the flower bed that I'm going to be working on next. It's on our patio and it has a little retaining wall with, I just put some stones up there for sitting on. But this faces the north, and we just kind of terraced this little bit. It goes up, and kind of on this side right here is a waterfall that comes down to a fountain next to the bench. And the pump keeps, I think we've gone through 3 pumps, even though we keep them cleaned. So we may decide to get another one this year, but we'll see. But back here in the corner, this is another medicinal plant. It's a shrub. It's called hyssop. This fern just volunteered, and I do like ferns, so I just let that go. Down there is a sweet William. Right behind that, starts with the V, but it's slipping my mind. I'll put it up on the screen if I can't think of it. This is a Brazilian vervain, which is part of the verbena family. It's a perennial, so it comes back every year. And then over here I have another sweet William. And then in these pots, I had lemongrass last year. Lemongrass does not live over here in my zone, which is 8B in Oregon. So I do have to replant that every year. And then in these little old containers, I just have some succulents. And this one I have some hen and chicks and another little succulent in there. I can't remember what the name of it is, but I'll probably just put you on a time lapse because this will take me a little bit. And we'll get this cleaned up. Okay, so I got the hyssop all trimmed up. That right there was Brazilian vervain as well. I left the fern alone because I just felt like the fern, it looks fine for now. I might have to trim it later in the summer. But this, my granddaughter loves this little frog hanging in the star. And I actually did a video called Funky Junk, and it's about all different kinds of pots and containers and weird things that I have. Some of them I haven't done anything with yet, and so if you have suggestions, if you watch that video, put them in the comments about what you think would be fun to see in them, because I'll probably do a video later this year on that. Back here, I didn't mention this before, but that's my perennial lobelia. It's beautiful, and it's spreading. That, what I love about it is you can just dig up little clumps and instantly have new plants. The Sweet William I did not have to trim because it's looking nice and bushy. This that I couldn't remember before, it is a valerian. It is medicinal. Back there, it's trying to come back. That is a perennial scabbiosa, and it's a lavender color. And this is the verbane that you saw in the picture that was absolutely just mammoth. And it kind of looked brutal probably in the time lapse of me butching them, but you can see if I come down here, they really shoot back out from the base. So these will probably be just as big again this year. Again, this Sweet William I didn't have to do anything to. And then the little succulents, aren't these cute? Get up close so you can see them. And then this variety came from my mom's place. I don't know what it is, but she has had it, I mean, since I was little, I can remember her having it. And then the little hen and chicks I got from her house as well. And then the lemon verbena grass that I dug out of there, or trimmed out of there, it still smells just as good as the day that I put it in there. I just love that stuff. The only thing that I don't like about it is its root base is huge. And so I literally will have to dump this whole pot out to get that root base out, because you just can't plant anything else in there and you can't just pull it out. So I'm going to take you and show you the other two beds that I'm going to be trying to work on. And as you can see, my fancy weed collector is just my empty chicken feed bag. I use them everywhere around the property, but this is just little makeshift steps we have that are coming up. And then off to the right here, this is the pond at the bottom of the fountain. It's just gotten taken over by little tiny, I don't even know, algae plants or something. But it's because we haven't had the pump running for almost the full year. And it goes up this little area and up to the top there. But down here, come up the rest of the steps. And then the first landing, of course I have to weed. There's no surprise, just every year. This is the first bed. And I have, these are calendulas from last year. And if I can get down here, you can actually see they already have buds on them. But I'll just trim the dead stuff off and get them all tidied up. I'm going to get all these weeds out of here. And I have a few other perennials in here, but then I have the upper layer, which of course the weeds have taken over. And then the top up there has some daffodils, and it's up next to a little deck we have up there. So that's what I'm going to be working on next. So here, all along the footpath, these are all calendula starts. And they came from this one, and this one, and this one, and these. So obviously I have enough and I don't need any more, so I will get those pulled out. So we got the flower beds done, tidied up, and we got the compost. I am so excited. Well, kind of, because it just means a lot of work. But in an upcoming video, we're going to be lifting up all the weed mat and putting the new compost down in one of our major growing areas. So make sure that you're subscribed for that. And as always, thanks for hanging out today. We'll see you next time.